All right, Stokastic, here we go. It's your old pal EMAC coming to you on a Saturday evening here. Fingers crossed I went out on the right stream. It looks like I did. Had a false start there a couple weeks ago, Matt, so I'm a little jumpy when it comes to these things. But here we are, the dynamic duo reunited here. We have the two best-looking hosts here at Stokastic. Matt, how have you been? I see you're even more ruggedly handsome than when I last saw you.
Hey, I'll take them where I can get them, so I appreciate that. We're good. As I always say, better now that I'm here talking with you, talking some MLB at that. Nice little all-star break as we discussed before the show, but happy to be back at it. Weekend full of shows with you. Saturday night slate. Interesting slate. There weren't many day games, and a bunch of the games start like before lock. So smallish Saturday night slate where a lot of the games start early. So fun times.
Yeah, it's the abbreviated Bellman, only a couple later, from 8 o'clock on. So not even really those. We've been getting 3 and 4 and 9:40 or later games, making for some fun slates. That is not the case tonight. So we had a 3-game afternoon slate, a 3-game slate that's locking here momentarily, and then of course the 9-gamer we are looking at. We will talk through all of this stuff, but covered the various different slates with a few thoughts here and there in the Spotlight Pitchers Top Stacks tool, free every day here on Stokastic. I went into greater detail for tonight and the late slate just because it makes a little more sense, but I will drop that link into chat for everybody as well. As you're coming on in, we'd appreciate it if you do hit the like button. It helps us out against that pesky YouTube algorithm. And it's always fun when we can get to 100 likes, especially since we have quite the crew tuning in for this show. I don't think we have any weather. There was a hint here and there, but reasonable game windows. Let me see here. Atlanta does not look too bad, and Colorado does not look too bad. Those were the roving shower venues. And then the Athletics at Cleveland, there's a decent game window there. So I don't think that will be an issue. It is warm in Colorado. That's going to be a bonus. It's also warm here in Tampa. I went out for a late afternoon walk. That was foolish, Matt. 95 feels like 100. Normally, we don't get that. Usually the feels like is only a couple degrees higher here, even with the heavy humidity, because I'm in Tampa, so a little closer to the coast. But it was miserable. Felt like I was walking in a sauna, so I cut that short. But any weather concerns that you have?
No weather concerns for me here. Bunch of good weather spots, but that's it.
All right. Then I'm turning it over to you. There is a lot to unpack at pitching. However, there's only a couple at the top, and they have question marks. The best pitchers today were Logan Webb, who went this afternoon, and then Yusei Kikuchi, who is going to be throwing here shortly. And then we're left with, I guess, Sonny Gray, maybe Imanaga, potentially, question mark. Everybody else has big words after that. What is your first blush here? And how many lineups are you playing? You're going more than one today.
I'm playing test. 4 lineups.
Okay.
4 lineups. Most of the lineups are in before we got on the show, so pretty easy. Only have a couple more to build, so easy enough. I think, again, to reiterate kind of what you were just saying, it's a weak pitching slate. There's no two ways about it. We don't have many good arms or many arms you feel comfortable about, and the ones that you do like aren't in great spots. I think Sonny Gray is the clear top dog here. Again, it's expensive for Sonny Gray. He's not usually a $10K or $9,800 pitcher. It's not a great spot at all against Arizona, but it's kind of what we're working with here. You get the benefit of Ketel Marte. He's just the best pitcher on the slate, and a lot of these guys are in bad spots. So I do like Sonny Gray here. I don't love him. I don't think you have to play him. He's going to be the highest owned. Most expensive and highest owned and not in a good spot is not a combo I like. So I'll play a little bit of Gray. He certainly won't be in all my lineups. 1 for sure, maybe 2, definitely not more than 2. So I like Gray here, don't love him. After that, it's just a jumble for me. There's guys that I kind of like, and guys that I don't like quite as much, but aren't getting the ownership. So I'll probably go the ownership discount route. But yeah, after there is no like number 2 for me, it's Gray and then everyone else. And even though I don't love Gray, that makes him, clearly playable to me, that he's the top guy above everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. So, chat, we're going to do something. We're reverting back to a little bit of game by game here today. The main reason is there is no standout player. We're going to have to wrap caveats around caveats for every pitcher we talk about. And in turn, then we're going to say, but you can play the offense against them. So to consolidate that and make that more condensed and concise, we're going to go game by game here. We will call out the cash pitchers as we see fit. It is probably Gray and potentially Imanaga. We'll see if we can uncover somebody else along the way here. After that, it just comes down to what your risk tolerance is. It could be a Lance McCullers type, etc. Ooh, tread lightly, folks. Tread lightly. But this is going to be one heck of a tournament slate here. Okay, let me get the old game by game list up here. Haven't done that in a while. Let's start off here in Tampa. So mentioned it's warm. Of course, this game is at George Steinbrenner Field. Temperatures are in the mid 90s. It is going to kind of over the next hour get to about 92, and then it's going to stay in the upper 80s through the entire game window here. It is got a nice little breeze out to right field. A lot of times that breeze kind of goes out towards center field there at Steinbrenner Field. It's a little more towards right tonight, but it's going to be very humid as well. We're looking at about 70-75% humidity. So that is an excellent time to be alive if you are looking at the offenses. We get the Spider-Man meme here for the pitchers because, Matt, it's kind of smoke and mirrors versus smoke and mirrors. Slightly different flavors. Dean Kramer trying to induce more weak contact. No weak content here. Weak contact, yes, but Zach Liddell is kind of a little bit more on the strikeout side, but they both give up tremendous amount of hard contact. Both dance on the edge with a lot of fly balls, and both can be gotten for crooked numbers, even though their surface numbers are not that bad right now. This venue is not going to do them any favors. The first game is yours. Take it away.
Yeah. So what game again? Sorry, I got a little
Tampa,
lost.
Baltimore.
Okay,
it's hot. It's wet. That's great if you're out having fun, but not if you're having a baseball.
It is not the ideal start for me, but I'll bounce back there. I got lost in your words. They just sounded so good. Yeah,
I was weaving a tapestry. It was
as you always are. So forgive me. Forgive me. Yeah, so great weather spot here, great hitting weather. We have that all over the slate. Two okay pitchers, not ready to call them like gas cans at all. Certainly not guys you're going out of your way to play. I think both offenses look good here. I don't want to say they look great because I think there's a few offenses that look better as kind of evidenced in our top stack tool, but I'll stack against Littell, whenever I get the chance. So I'm fine with Baltimore here. They're more affordable than Tampa. And both these teams are like neck and neck in the top stack tool. 4.3% chance of being the top stack for Baltimore, 4.2 for Tampa. Ownership a tad higher on the Orioles because you got like Gunnar Henderson's getting love. But I think either of these stacks are viable tournament stacks. Tampa's expensive. So, you're getting there just because of their talent. I think Kramer is a fine pitcher. He can get hit around at times, but he can also pitch well at times. Again, if I were playing 150, I'd have exposure to both these teams, but in 4 lineups, I probably won't get to either, to be honest. Although I don't think it's crazy if you're playing 3 lineups to get to one of these teams. I just probably won't.
Sure. That's a fair assessment here. If we're looking at specific hitters going against Dean Kramer, he has seen his strikeout rate drop from 22.2% last year to 19.3% this year. His swinging strike rate is only 9.3% this year, about the same as what it was last year. His barrels are down this year to 8%, about the same as his swinging strike rate. So that is not great. He has just been getting by on luck at this point. You want to look towards the core 4 of Yandy Diaz, who is the on-base Maven. You've got Brandon Lowe back in the lineup here. He is hitting for a lot of power this year when he's from the left side of the plate. 240 ISO in 270 plate appearances here. Jonathan Aranda and junior runner-up in the home run derby Caminero are also rounding that out. You can expand that to Chandler Simpson, who is just the epitome of speed on the base paths, and Josh Lowe, who does have decent pop when he has the platoon advantage. If we look at the Baltimore lineup here, for as much as we've said less than stellar things about them, and yeah, they've kind of earned it, they still have tremendous power numbers against righties. The challenge is not everybody's hitting at the same time. It hurts that Adley Rutschman is out. Let's see if I can figure out who is sitting today. Or Hearn's in there. Someone's missing from the back of their lineup, but the bottom two, Jacob Stallings is their third catcher because in addition to Rutschman being out, you have Gary Sanchez who is out. So he and Ramon Urias are the just punch and Judy hitters here. If we say punch and, nobody even knows what punch and Judy is anymore. I barely knew who they were when I was a kid. That had to be explained to me. In any event, they don't really get the ball out of the infield, but everybody else in the lineup does, including Tyler O'Neill, who is back from his injury. So you can mix and match to your heart's content in that particular lineup. Let's move on to our next game here, Matt. It is going to be Detroit at Texas. The Motor City Kitties are going against Kumar Rocker here. Our tools like Kumar Rocker. A lot of the
tools,
like
every slate we talk about.
A lot of tools throughout the industry are liking Kumar Rocker. They're going against the best team in the American League, record-wise, and a pesky offense here. I don't know what to do with this game. I'm terrified. It's got to be a both sides or when we're looking at Detroit and Rocker, if only for my sanity, Matt. What are you doing with your limited four lineups?
Yeah, so the tools obviously push you on Rocker. I mean, he's projected for like the second or third most fantasy points on the slate at 6,400. That speaks to the lack of good pitching options for sure, but it also speaks to how good of a play he is according to our tools. I'm not buying it. Like we've read this story a few times. I feel like we've talked about this a bunch where like not even just Stokastic's tools, but tools across the industry are higher than Rocker than he's actually pitched. Like I get it on this slate. I don't think he's a bad play, but I think Detroit is projected too low here and he's being projected too high. I almost think his projection is kind of like for naught in the sense that like he's projected for whatever, 14 point something fantasy points. Like he's not going to hit that. He's either going to be significantly higher than that because of the strikeouts or significantly lower than that because he's going to get hit around most of the time, not always. So that kind of plays into your both sides argument. And I'm with you. Like this is a both sides for me. If I were playing 150, I would play both sides. In my limited lineups, I'm playing some Detroit. I'm not like playing them all over, but I'm playing some Detroit and I'm not playing Rocker. I think he's going to be highly owned, too highly owned. And I get it at his price, but as the second highest owned pitcher on the slate, like he hasn't been good. Like he's had a few good starts, but those are kind of few and far between with him. So I'm out on Rocker here.
Which makes sense. 223 batters he has faced this year. He has a 205 combined ISO, small sample size of 118 lefties, 105 righties. So it's hard to really say which way he leans with his splits. But the advantage currently is with the righties. But that's going to course correct to the lefties. The key guys you want to look at are going to be Colt Keith, Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson. Those are the best power hitters. Juancio Perez is intriguing as a switch hitter. He gets elevated up in the lineup with Carpenter hurt. And then Gleyber Torres does a great job of getting on base. He is better. His power is tremendous this season, 243 against southpaws. Against righties, it's like if I remember correctly, it's barely above 100 ISO. So he is more about getting on base, moving things along, putting the ball in play. He's fine for stacks. He's just not really the source of extra base hits. But that's where you want to consolidate things, unless you want to add in all-star Zach McKinstry. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Right. Just a crazy thing to say.
On the other side, we've got Texas taking on Keter Montero here. What do you want to do with this one? There's a lot of red when it comes to allowing power and not striking people out on Montero's player card here.
Yeah. I like Texas here too. I like both sides of this game. You get it. It's, a little bit earlier than we see Texas games there, like an hour or two. So going to be warmer weather. I like the Texas side as well. I like pieces for sure. Seager looks like maybe the best shortstop play on the slate to me, hitting second. Price has been raised, but for good reason. So I like him a lot. I like 1 through 6. I think you can get weird with like 7 through 9 in big tournaments, but I don't really think you need to. But Smith, Seager, Semien, Garcia, Carter, Langford, all those guys have upside, power, and speed, most of them. So I like both sides of this game for offense.
I'm trying to – the usual places I go don't have it confirmed if the roof is open or closed tonight in Texas. Chat, if you guys know, go ahead and put that in chat or cite that for me. I'm just curious. It's not going to overly change anything. We're still going to want to go against these pitchers. It just makes a little bit of a difference there. And there's a lot of the main sites that we go to that are lineup pages. They don't differentiate. Some of them just say roof closed all the time. If it's something like Seattle, and they don't always update things for those that have retractable roofs. But I suspect it's going to be closed. Chunk the Do says it's 100 degrees. It's most likely going to be closed. Okay, that makes sense. Anything else in this game?
I don't think so. I like offense more than pitching, although I'll clearly admit that Rocker at 6,400 looks like a great play based on projections.
Yeah. And again, you had, just to kind of finish, had a great call out there. His outcome bar is wide. The median projection, he's plus. There's 9 guys that are plus or minus a point from each other, but he has strikeout potential. He has not harnessed it yet. He's in the 5 cent head phase of the Ebby Cal, the Nuke Lelouch trajectory arc here. We'll see if he makes it beyond that, but he's in the player pool tonight, and the potential is there. Amy, we will get to that super chat. Do not fear, but we're going to go through some of the games here, but I've got that flagged. All righty, on to our 7-10 game. This is your Cleveland Guardians hosting the Athletics. Luis, get me the hell out of here. Severino is on the mound tonight. I'm sure he is thrilled to not be pitching in Sutter Park, where he has just been destroyed. He has been better than advertised on the road. That's kind of a small sample size thing, but he's also not as bad overall as he has been in the Sacramento River Cats home ballpark here. How do you feel about Logan Allen, I guess, is the good starting point? Because he's another guy that I'm mixing and matching around Rocker along with Lance McCullers at the moment. So do you have anything good to say about Logan Allen under the parameters of tonight's slate? Because I know you like to say less than stellar things about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is another one where I don't think he's a great pitcher, but he's certainly like in play on this slate at 7,100. I think I might play him in 1 of 4, so I'm not excited about it. Totally expecting the Athletics to get to him here, but I mean, what are the other options? Like, you got to roster 2 guys on DraftKings. You can poke major holes in every starter on this slate. So I like him more than Lance McCullers and Kumar Rocker for me. So that's probably wrong. The tools would suggest otherwise, but that's where I'm at this moment.
Yeah, the main worrisome hitters are really Brent Rooker and Shea Langeliers for me. Rookie Jacob Wilson made the All-Star game. He got hit on the hand by a pitch, so we'll see. He missed the last couple games leading into the All-Star break. We'll see how he's doing. He played yesterday, so I'm expecting him to be good to go. But does that impact him a little bit here as a rookie? And then you've got Max Muncy's got a lot of holes in his swings against lefties. Same thing with Miguel Andujar. At least make contact and can get on base, but he doesn't have much power. Even with the platoon advantage. Nick Kurtz, holes in his swing. If he catches one, he can take it for a ride, but he's definitely a strikeout candidate, 38% strikeout rate this season. his rookie season in his 60 plate appearances against lefties. So I think this is definitely similar to the Rocker one. I'm going to definitely have some athletics here, but only because Logan Allen is less than trustworthy. And if there were better pitching on the slate, we would be talking about this as a potential Coors Field countermeasure. But everything is a Coors Field or counter move tonight. Everything is that with who we have on the mound. So that's sort of where we stand here. What do you like for the Cleveland offense here?
Yeah, so Cleveland looks really good here against Severino just in general because Severino's not good. And Cleveland is extremely cheap. So we don't have elite spend-up pitching options, but if you do want to spend up or just load up on elite one-off bats, Cleveland's a team to do it. Angel Martinez leading off at 2,800. I prefer him hitting from the right side, but Severino's not good. The Oakland or the Athletics bullpen isn't good. Nolan Jones hitting second, both of them 2,800. Obviously, the bell of the ball, Jose Ramirez, he's the only expensive guy, but you want him. Big power and speed upside, and he's in a good groove right now. I mean, just check the game log. He's seeing the ball well, and it just stays cheap. So I think the top three, or Manzardo, also throw Manzardo in there. They all look really good. I think they're going to be owned because they look good and they're cheap, but you've got Minnesota on this slate that's just going to eat up so much ownership. I just don't think it can get that high. So I like Cleveland a lot here, and they're like middle of the road in the top stack tool, but they have the second highest stack score because of how cheap they are. So a lot to like about Cleveland here, no doubt.
All right. And then key things to think about for the Athletics bullpen. Hogan Harris was used yesterday. Was used yesterday. He is one of the lefties in the bullpen. The other is Sean Newcomb. He tends to be more of a multi-inning guy. He has not pitched since last Sunday, so he would be available. That's just something to think about for some of the players that tend to lean into their platoon splits, that they could be pinch hit risks, but that's future us problem. All righty, that takes us through the first three games here. I want to remind everybody, if you have not yet signed up for Portfolio EV, in the YouTube description below us here, there is a link that will get you a 7-day free trial. This is the top-down betting model here at Stokastic /OddsShopper, which is a lot of fun to play around with. It also does support parlay builders and the pick'em sites. So if you have not yet tried that, you can try the tools for 7 days for free. Stop guessing, start winning. That is Portfolio EV. All right, continuing along here, we have the 7:15 game. Will Warren, one of our potential pitching options, going against Joey Wentz. Joey Wentz likely acting as a multi-inning opener. This is the third team Wentz has played for this season. That's all you need to know about him. Guessing, I didn't look it up before the game, but earlier it was mentioned that Dane Dunning, the righty, would be the most likely bulk reliever. He was just acquired by Atlanta 2 days ago via trade, and he is ready to pitch. So Will Warren, where have the strikeouts gone over the last 3 games? I don't know. That makes me a little nervous. He's had a couple big blowups, but otherwise looks like a pretty promising young pitcher here. That he is, I guess, a pitching option here because of the way the slate is breaking, because of his strikeout upside, and because Atlanta has just been dreadful for most of the season. And now they are without Austin Riley. So that leaves another hole in their lineup. How do you want to approach New York at Atlanta?
Yeah, so Warren is definitely one of the guys strongly considering. There's another pitcher like basically the same price that I slightly prefer. So I don't know if I'm going to play Warren here, but he's high on my list just as a kind of contrarian option that isn't getting a lot of love. But as you are, I'm scared off by the recent form. It's not a good matchup. There's pitch count concerns on the 2 guys I like later on, but I think they're higher upside pitchers right now than Warren. We'll get to them. I like Warren. He's just not going to make the cut for me. If I were playing I'm playing 4 lineups. If I were playing 10 lineups, I would definitely be playing some.
All right. Obviously, we're not going with the Atlanta pitching here. How do you feel about these stacks? Where are they rating out for you?
Yeah, the Yankees look good here. I mean, Wentz is just the middle of the, a nothing arm. I don't think he's like a true gas can, but he's not good. So the Yankees look like a strong pivot off of the Twins here. They're coming in second in the top stack to a second in ownership. Makes sense to me. They look good. I like them here. Top 5 for sure. Judge or Goldschmidt, Judge, Stanton, Jazz, Bellinger hitting in the 2-hole. So, yeah, the Yankees, a lot to like here. The Braves, I don't hate the Braves. I don't love them either. So I'm not playing the Braves. I think Warren is good enough. I just, again, prefer a couple guys later.
Yeah, this was sort of my assessment. Again, the Free Spotlight Pitchers Top Stacks article. I said, Will Warren's taking on the Braves. They're 10 games under 500 potential sellers as the trade deadline looming. The team has been mostly a paper tiger. You have, I'm going to see if he's in the lineup. Ozzie Albies and Michael Harris have been awful this season. Awful. They barely have a combined 100 ISO. That is not what the expectation should be for either of those guys. Perhaps that Ozzie Albies cheap contract that he signed actually looks more appropriate at the moment. And then Michael Harris, God, what could have been? Remember, he was going to be the second coming of Ronald Acuna, but from the left side of the plate. Still has wheels, but man, he has just been a mess when he is swinging the stick. Aside from that, Olsen, Acuna, you get the double catchers there with Drake Baldwin, Sean Murphy. Those guys are all strong plays. You can really see the hole in the lineup there, though, without Austin Riley and with Jerks and Profar being very rusty after sitting out his 81-game suspension. So both sides are here for me. I lean a little bit more towards Warren, but we'll see what happens when the Sims come out. I'm playing my 6 handbelt lineups over on FanDuel as well as my 150 overall, so I'm not having to do too much on the 2-pitcher sides. I did not play him in my Yahoo lineup, but he would have been on my short list for DraftKings, so I wanted to call that out. Let's see here. A couple more 7:15 games here featured on Fox, of course, with Saturday baseball. We have sunny gray in Arizona. We know the roof is closed here at Chase Field. You also have, am I doing this correctly? You have on the other side, Ryan Nelson is going to be taking the bump for Arizona. Nelson has been getting by on smoke and mirrors, but he's a little bit different than the guys in Tampa Bay because he actually does okay with run prevention, but he still has that same lack of strikeouts as the other guys. He tends to handle himself a little bit better with a higher ground ball rate, which does offset some of his hard hit rate. But this is, not a place where we feel anything better about Nelson than him as an SP2. Sonny Gray staring down a pretty tough lineup. We say that kind of pretty tough. Ketel Marte has asked for a couple of days off. His house was burglarized while he was in Atlanta for the All-Star game, so nobody was home when that happened. But he is not. He didn't play yesterday. He's not playing today. But you get the most of the rest of the lineup there, with the key guys being Corbin Carroll, Perdomo, Gurriel Naylor, and Eugenio Suarez. That's where you want to focus on things. How do you feel about our Arizona game, or the Arizona side? And now that we've talked more, it feels now we understand why Sonny Gray is the air quote ace of the slate.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it is. Just context of what we're being allowed to play, or what we're being given here. Yeah, I think the Arizona side is a nice leverage stack, but that's about it. I don't think they look particularly good on paper here. I think St. Louis looks a lot better. Top Stack Tool likes them a lot. Waiting for it to update. Not sure it has. I'm checking again right now. No, it is not. But per the hour ago update, St. Louis is really high in the Top Stack Tool, and they're not getting a lot of love. So I like them here. Wouldn't go as far as to say a love situation, but I like the top of the lineup for sure. And I think you can mix in Victor Scott at the bottom. So yeah, I'm in on some St. Louis here, out on Arizona, in on some Sonny Gray. Ryan Nelson, I don't hate him. I haven't played a ton of him, so I missed like the great starts he had. But I like a couple guys later, and he's right in the mix for me. Like I think he's similar to Warren, similar to Matthews and Sheehan, who I like later. So we'll get to those guys. I'm not playing Nelson, but I think he's a fine play. I'm on the St. Louis side more than him, though.
Yeah, with St. Louis, they haven't exhibited a ton of power this year, consistent or up and down the lineup. I mean, you still got Brendan Donovan, Alec Burleson. When they have the platoon advantage, Wilson Contreras, Ivan Herrera are good against righties, but not just heavy power. And that I think is something that can help Nelson survive tonight. None of these feel like good clicks, even Sonny Gray, but it's going to be fun. This is the confetti slate. Play a little of everything and hope you get the right combination. I want to mention Sonny Gray. He's in his 13th season. Started way back in 2013 with the Athletics. Since 2020, he has had a 3.47 ERA and a 3.62 xERA. Those are really good numbers. Now, that coincides with the universal DH as well, which I wanted to mention because some of his time was spent in the National League. But he has been a very good pitcher. In his last outing, he only went 3 innings. That was because there was rain in Atlanta. So you want to keep that in mind. And over his last 10 starts, he's allowed more than 3 runs only twice and only 1 home run in this time frame. So he has been really good at run prevention. Strikeouts, they're, Father Time is undefeated, but that is what is making him an intriguing option today. So he also had a complete game against your Guardians, if you remember. Somehow struck out 11.
That was one of the best starts for anyone all season.
1 hit on 89 pitches. Struck out 11, complete game, 89 pitches. That is like, oh God, who was the lefty from the White Sox that used to pitch super
Burley.
fast? Pardon?
Burley.
Yeah, Mark Burley. That was a Mark Burley kind of start. Just boom. It was great. It was great. But we can still do hedge stacks against him. You know the drill of who to go to for the Diamondbacks. Anything else as we get ready to head towards the final 7:15 game here?
No, I don't think so. Let's do it.
All right. Shota Imanaga is going against the Boston Red Sox. The back of the Boston order looks pretty intriguing with Connor Wong, Abram Toro, and Masataka Yoshida because they have little to no power against lefties. That's important. They also don't have a lot of plate appearances against lefties, but it's because they're not very good. Roman Anthony, this has got to be missing. He's batting cleanup tonight. Wow. He's not good against lefties, but he's young. Obviously, he's batting cleanup. He's talented. He will get there, but it doesn't have to be tonight. And I see that Jarren Duran, not only have they moved him down in the order against lefties, he's just not even playing tonight, nor is Weiler Abreu. So how do you feel about Imanaga, who has seen his strikeout rate dip dramatically, but it's mostly been against righties. Of course, he is facing a mostly righty lineup tonight, so that's going to be a problem. But it dropped from 24% last year to just under 17% this year. Will you play Imanaga? Is he one of the guys you are considering?
No, I'm not. I'm out on Imanaga. He's a guy I rarely ever play. He's always overpriced for me, and ownership is fine. I don't think he's a bad play because we don't have any good plays, so that in turn makes him like a fine play. But
where's Patrick Corbin when you need him?
Yeah, right. I just, I'm kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop here. Like his underlyings haven't been as good as his actual numbers like forever. Maybe he'll be one of those guys. Maybe not. In this weather, winds blowing out, not like, the best hitting weather we've ever seen at Wrigley, but good enough for me to not want to play Imanaga.
All right. Quickly here, Nightbot's been dropping this into the chat. It is also in the YouTube description below us, and I will drop the link into chat as well. But this is our link join offer. You can see there at the bottom, we got a new partner here, the Wanna Parlay. It is a pick'em site So if you guys have not yet signed up there, I believe they're doing a $200 deposit match, if I remember correctly. But they are a site that if you sign up through them, as well as anybody else that is on the landing page here, not only do you get their special offers, but you also get 30 days of Stokastic single sport premium as well. So that is kind of the best deal that we have going on here. Here are all the different sites that we can offer. You need to, or that we have this offer with, you need to click our button here, as you can see on the screen. So you want to parlay? Oh, look, it's a little pirate there. That's kind of fun. New users get up to a $100 deposit match on $250. So you click claim offer, sign up, make your deposit, follow these 4 simple steps here. You got to do a screenshot of your welcome email and send us a screenshot of your first settled bet. You can do that together. Send that to sport@stokastic.com and tell us which fantasy league you would like your single sport sims package. I bet if you ask nicely, you could hold off until we get to NFL, but it's MLB right now. So that will bridge the gap until we get to the NFL. I think I saw 52 days or something like that until the NFL, Matt. It's getting closer. It's getting closer.
Yeah, one guy I forgot to call out with Arizona that I'll still play. I think you could even play him in Sonny Gray lineups is, excuse me, Adrian Del Castillo, 2K, hitting 6. Yeah, I mean, we saw this when he came up last year. This dude rakes. Like, he's one of the better hitting catching prospects in base. He's not even up for catching, clearly. He's DHing. So I'm in on him at 2K. That's just a stupid price tag at what is by far the weakest position, offensively in baseball. So, yeah, I mean, if you're not using a guy on a stack or like spending up on Cal Raleigh, give me Del Castillo, especially if I'm not playing Sonny Gray in that lineup.
All right. We are 3 games left on the slate, and we are skipping ahead to the dessert portion of the show. Coors Field, Zebby Matthews on the bump for the Twins, Antonio Senzatella on the other side. Almost a 12.5 implied run total here, just over 7 going to the Twins. That is just sick and wrong and evil. It is going to be in the upper 80s throughout the first 90 minutes of this game before it settles into the lower 80s for hours. The third hour, you get a nice breeze, 6 to 10 miles an hour out to left center tonight. Matt, it looks like the Rockies are a little bit underrepresented in tournaments. They are not going to break the salary model. Even DraftKings has said, the Rockies in Coors Field, sure, we'll have a couple guys over 4,000, but not that many. What the hell is going on with this team? Break us down this game here, Matt. This is where all the fun is going to be happening tonight. I hope there are some fireworks here because there's going to be a lot of representation in my portfolio, in your portfolio, in the Fields portfolio.
So as far as Colorado goes, I played them last night. I like them a lot against Paddock. I think they're going to be higher owned than we're projecting tonight. They were last night. So I think with Goodman back in the lineup, like they're going to get love here against Matthews, but I'm off them here. I like Matthews a lot. I think as far as talent goes, like he's like one of the most talented arms on the slate, and he gets the Rockies. I know it's in Coors and they scored a lot last night, but he's unowned. He's been good when he's gotten the chance in the big leagues. Certainly you've got pitch count concerns, but at that price tag in this matchup on this slate, I'm all in on Zebby. And I like the Twins a lot. I mean, what's not to like about the Twins? Senzatella shouldn't even be pitching in the majors anymore. You get Coors Field, you get the Rockies bullpen. It's baseball. Weird stuff can happen, and they're going to be owned. So if you want to just fade them because they're going to be crazy high owned, I get that. But I'm playing some Twins here. I'll get different at pitcher, hence part of the reason I like Zebby Matthews, Emmett Sheehan. I want to play some Twins here. They look great. Their whole lineup. I'll play the bottom half to get a little bit different. Obviously, Buxton, top hitter on the slate. I'm out on the Rockies. I think the Rockies come in a little bit higher owned than we're projecting. Twins a little bit lower owned. So, yeah, I'm out on Colorado. I'm all in the Twins here, Zebby and the Twins.
All right. I concur. I will also make sure I have enough of the Rockies. That was fun last night, especially with Ryan McMahon. I ended up playing him over Royce Lewis, though sadly I had a 6-leg parlay that got 5 right, except for Royce Lewis. It's over. What could have been? $5 into 500. What could have been? What could have been? All right. I see in chat asking for FanDuel. So just real quick here before we hit our last 2 games, and don't worry, Amy, we're going to get to tiers. We're going to talk a little bit about the single lineup sim, answer any questions here. If we look at the FanDuel pitching, look how flat this is. I mean, you're splitting hairs here. Yes, you could say there's a 50% chance Sonny Gray has a 50% chance better opportunity to be the top scoring pitcher than Will Warren or Logan Allen or whatever. But that's fun with numbers, right? We're lying when we say it that way. If we even look at value, doesn't really matter. Don't play Joey Wentz, even though he's the best value player. You do not need that on FanDuel. And we can see that Lance McCullers is the most popular player at 20%. That's just wild on FanDuel tonight. I will see what happens where my stands come out, but I suspect I will be making lineups, probably one lineup with each of the first 4 or 5 pitchers in my handbelt lineup. So we'll see what happens there. If we look quickly at the stacks, it's going to be a similar story on both sides. You've got Minnesota just coming in at 25% probability of, oops, did I not push the right button? Minnesota is going to have about a 25% probability of being the top stack tonight. But as we like to point out, that means 75% of the time they are not the top stack. You can see it gets real crowded here. The next tier is the Yankees against Wentz, then Colorado, and then literally a 10-way tie here. I wouldn't want to live on the difference between these. So everything is very, very thin tonight. Malakar, to answer your question, and thank you for being a YouTube member for 52 months. That is impressive. Do you start building lineups with pitcher or stacks? It depends. Tonight, I'd probably make sure I got in the bats I wanted, and then I'd sort of see what pitchers are there. If I all of a sudden it's like, oh, look, I've got Sonny Gray in Coors Field, that's going to be the most popular combination. Start mixing and matching at that point. Other slates, sometimes we may have cheap pitchers that we think are in good spots. We start out with them. Conversely, we may have great stacks and fill in things around them. So it's going to be, and it depends. If I'm building one lineup, I usually make sure I have the pitcher I want. Tonight's not the best example, but it would kind of be Sonny Gray. This is just a more unique slate. I've already forgotten who our pitchers were yesterday, but there were 3. Oh, there was Luis Castillo and Glass now, and I'm forgetting the third. But it was a pretty obvious 3 pitchers that you wanted to choose from, and then craft around that. So I would say push comes to shove, 60% of the time I'm looking at pitcher first, but it's never a hard and fast rule. So I'm sure it's similar for you, Matt.
Definitely slate dependent, but most of the time it's pitcher first, for sure.
All righty. We've got about 20 minutes left. Let's hit the last 2 games here. We are still waiting on the Milwaukee lineup. We've got fastball Freddie Peralta in Los Angeles taking on the Dodgers. It is going to be a 6:10 local start. That's important to remember because it's going to be a little bit warmer than the standard 7 o'clock start, and it's just a little bit longer till the marine layer gets in to do its work. So it's a little less favorable for pitching. The Dodgers have had some trouble scoring runs consistently of late. You mentioned Emmett Sheehan. I'm curious to see your take on this one. Start us off with the pitchers. We haven't barely breathed the word of either of these guys till you mentioned Sheehan in passing a couple games ago. What do we have in Chavez Ravine tonight?
Yeah, he's one of the guys I'm high on. He's been good. His underlings are good. He's a guy that's been high on their prospect list for a while. He's shown well in the majors when given the opportunity. His first, I think, actual start of the season, he'd been piggybacking off Ohtani. Again, pitch count concerns just because it's the Dodgers. One start or one outing, he went 80. I think the other 2, he went 65 to 70. So, again, I don't love him here, but relative to ownership and just who we're working with on this slate, I think he's more talented than the arms around him. He's at home here. He's a guy I like, and I've played, and I like him here. So, again, I want to play some chalkier bats. I'm willing to get a little bit different at pitcher, and he's one of the guys I like quite a bit to do so with.
If you turned your attention to the hitting side, who are you scared of the most?
Yeah, it's not like a great spot for Sheehan. Like Milwaukee's good. Yelich certainly. Churio, Contreras, Turang. Those guys, like the top four for sure. I mean, the bottom half is pesky, but it's the top four for me.
All right. Let's hit the last game here, and then we got a bunch of moving parts, so we will run through that. We're still waiting on that Brewers lineup, but we have everything else. Wrapping things up in the Pacific Northwest, 9:40 East Coast start, 6:40 local start. You have Lance McCullers and the Astros in Seattle as the two teams are battling in this very crucial series to see if the Astros increase their lead in the American League West, or if the Mariners can close the gap. I believe it's 4 games now after last night's outcome, but I did not look that up this morning, so I'm just going by memory. We have McCullers, ground ball specialists. He basically didn't pitch for almost 3 years with a couple of different serious injuries. He has had mixed results this season, but the best pitching environment in the league is T-Mobile Park. It is going to be around 70 degrees and dipping into the mid-60s throughout this game. That's advantageous, and it gives the Marine Layer a much better chance to impact T-Mobile Park since it is right on Puget Sound. Logan Evans, whole lot of yeah there, but that's what we can also say about this Houston Astros offense. Matt, take us through the final game of the night.
Yeah, I can't do McCullers. Like, I get it. I mean, he's cheap, great ballpark. A lot of parks aren't great on this slate. I totally understand it. I'm not doing it. He's a guy I never play at ownership like this, and I'm not going to do it tonight. Again, on paper, Seattle strikes out. It's a great pitching park. I understand why he's getting played. Totally. I'm just not going to do it. I'd rather play the guys I talked about. If I'm going to play popular offenses, I'm not playing popular McCullers with them. If you're not, do what you want. As far as offenses in this game go, not interested. I think you can use a couple Seattle bats against McCullers because he's owned and he puts guys on base. So that's a recipe for disaster. Cal Raleigh, always the top catcher, but he's expensive on a slate with great bats, and he's in Seattle. So tough to prioritize him, but I'll bank on McCullers putting guys on base because McCullers always puts guys on base.
All righty. I'm going to hand build a few lineups here on the screen. I just did the first one. I'm doing this on FanDuel, but this is the single lineup simulator. It's a lot of fun. The first lineup I did, I just let the Sims take care of everything for me. It did put Lance McCullers in there. This one I'm building out Sonny Gray with a bit of a Tampa stack here. I think that is going to be a little bit fun. Who am I missing from Tampa? Feels like I'm missing. I don't want Josh. No, I don't want Simpson. So I'm going to go with these 3 here. And then you hit complete lineup, and it will put in the next best ROI/projected place. Now, it's not going to look for correlation. It's not going to try to stack for you. But because it is the Twins that are the next best recommendations here, that's what we're seeing come in. You can run the lineup simulation. I have this set for 1,000 entries or smaller. This gives me a better feel for where things are with my main lineups. I play these in the FanDuel leagues, the double ups, triple ups, quints, etc. So not a great simulated ROI here compared to the 40% that I had, almost 50% with the Minnesota/Cleveland mini stack there. So we want to keep that in mind. If we build out an Emmett, you like Emmett here. Do I want to go that route? Just for you, Matt. Let's see what happens if we put in Sheehan. Let's see. How about we make a Colorado stack? And let's go with, let's take Moniak. Let's take Goodman. Let's take McMahon. And let's say complete the lineup, and I bet it gives me a bunch of Minnesota Twins because that is just how this slate is going to go. Oh, a little Corey Seager popped up, little Chandler Simpson there. Let's run the lineup simulation here and see. Oh, we got the Brewers lineup. Let's see who is missing, if anyone. It hasn't popped up on my sheet yet, so I will get there. Ooh, not that great, but see, remember, I am going with Colorado, which is kind of going against the grain a little bit. I'm okay with that lineup. Who is your favorite pitcher tonight, if you just had to play one?
It's got to be Sonny Gray, I guess, the answer to that question. But, ownership considered, I like Zebby and Sheehan a lot.
All right. Well, let's build. I'm doing this just to build out a Sonny Gray lineup real quick. So, how do you feel about Logan Allen?
I am off him now, especially with the weather. Like, I saw that there are potential delay concerns. Weather's looking murky.
Right.
I'm good on that.
All right. Let's go with Sonny Gray. And who was your favorite stack?
Favorite stack overall? I mean, it's the Twins.
Who's your secondary stack?
Texas.
Okay. Let me build out Texas here. So I am guessing you would want to have Langford, Seager, Carter.
Yeah, I think those are the top three.
Those the main three. Would you throw in a John Smith or just let it ride with those three?
Yeah, I like 1 through 6. So Smith, Seager, Semien, Adolis, Carter, and Langford. And I'll say this, like Semien, like he's not a sexy click anymore, but man, like after an absolutely dreadful start of the year, he's been like good over the past couple months. So I got no issues with him at all.
All right. Oh, it's putting in Manzardo to give it the stamp of your approval. Cody Clemens sneaking in there. Let's see how this one shakes out. Logan Evans, question mark. Logan Evans is not a very good pitcher. I'd save him for the 3-game late slates. I will have him just because there's only 6 options on there tonight. But otherwise, I see no real reason to go after him, even against this particular iteration of the Houston Astros lineup that is running out of lefties. All right, let's build out a Houston lineup here and see how that works. Let's see, where am I? Lineup 5. Okay, perfect. So Houston, let's take McCullers, and let's go with Paredes. Got to go with Altuve. Boy, it gets thin after Paredes and Altuve, doesn't it? Let's see what my page has here. Nothing really exciting after that. I'm going to go with Cam Smith just because I think he is a talented guy. And we'll say complete this lineup. I may not keep this one in my 6. Worst or best pitching weather, worst hitting weather overall. It is going to give me differentiation, though. And Logan Evans is the kind of guy who can make things interesting for the opposition. He has a 200 ISO, 210 to lefties, 190 to righties, about 110 hitters from each side of the plate. You know what? Let's keep that one. And we'll just build out one last one. You said you don't like Imanaga here. I am going to fly against all convention and go with Imanaga. And we're going to go also with Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, and Seiya Suzuki and see what we get. And then we're going to answer some tiers questions here for Amy S. Look at that. Solid. So there's my 6 lineups. I'm going to export those. Let me get over here to DraftKings. And then I will turn to you for your Dong of the Day, Matt. The Dong of the Day. Yeah. Dong of the Day. My wife's not here, so I can sing about the Dong of the Day. Tiers quickly, because we only have 10 minutes left. Tier 1, definitely Aaron Judge against Wentz. Tier 2, I would take Kyle Tucker against Bayo. The other option would be Jose Ramirez against Severino. Tier 3 is where you can, if you're going with Tucker, I would go with Pete Crow Armstrong or Suzuki to get that continual synergy. If you were looking to, I guess you could put Matt Bush in there as well. But I would say Junior Caminero would be my lone wolf one-off. Riley Green is the easy click there. I know someone was asking about the Cody Bellinger hit streak and how I feel about the Yankees not doing great, but then coming back on strong. Don't analyze things like that. But Bellinger is going to get. He's been good against lefties this year. He's going to get a crack or two against Wentz, and then most likely he will go against Dane Dunning. So for me, it's Green or Bregman in tier 4. Tier 5. Hunter Goodman is the easy one, but you've got 4 other options from the Coors Field game. I would pick one of those, but I like Hunter Goodman. And then tier 6 you could go with Ian Happ for some Chicago synergy. You could go with Diaz or Aranda if you have taken one of the other Tampa Bay guys, but I would lean towards Gunnar Henderson, even though he has been a little disappointing this season. So that is our tiers question. Let me kick off my 150 here because now we're under crunch time. But what do you have for your home run tonight, Matt?
Going off the board as I usually do. Guy Ryan Nelson, reverse splits. Give me Jordan Walker to go yard here.
Oh, that is a deep cut.
Yes, it is. That's what I like to do because
that is a degree of difficulty. I don't think I'm going to be able to match that.
You won't because you like to go easy, low-hanging fruit.
No, you take that back right now.
No, I won't.
That back right now because I'm going with Jonathan Aranda against Dean Kramer.
Okay, I will take that back tonight. Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair enough.
You think I'm Chris Spags here? He's the guy goes after the low-hanging fruit. Although Lindy last night picked someone from Coors Field.
Yeah,
how is that allowed?
If we were actually doing like a contest and it was recorded, then I would think harder about my picks. But we're not, and I like the bonus points if Jordan Walker does go yard tonight.
We did a couple years. We did when Jake Hari and Spags and me and Josh and we're doing them. I think I won or I got second.
You did. Sure.
No, I had Nelson Cruz with a triple home run, and I had one other guy with a double or a triple home run. I remember because they got mad because I wasn't on as many shows, but I would still submit to my entry to make it fair. All righty, we're looking at FanDuel here. I have crafted out the player pool and the lineups. I'm selecting 150 to see what happens here. It looks like it's giving me a nice spread on the pitchers, which is kind of to be expected here. I'm going to limit myself to just no more than 20 across the board. From these popular guys. I don't think that's going to change, even if I had not done that. On hitters, a lot of Jose Ramirez. So I did not go check that weather. So let me look at that real quick. What is our update? The starting drive, maybe some. All right. Well, let's see if I can, without crashing my computer.
It's so hot and muggy here. It's definitely going to rain. It's just a matter of like how much and where,
and when, and where,
for how long. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't fade the hitters if I were already playing them, but like I'm playing 4 lineups. I wasn't already playing them. I'm not going to play them.
Yeah, it looks like most things are broken, but they consolidate around 9:30 or 10 o'clock local time.
Yeah, I wouldn't fade anything because of it. It's just enough to get me like I was already teetering. So like I was going to play 1 Logan Allen lineup. Now I'm not. I
think that's fair, but I still don't want 50% of Ramirez. We'll go with 35. And then the other thing you can do is you can look at ROI boost to change things. We can look at our stack. So I'm getting a ton of Cleveland, which is interesting.
They're so cheap.
Yeah, let's give a little love to Colorado. Let's give a little love to Arizona going against Sonny Gray.
I like St. Louis. That's the other team that I do like.
I'm actually against that one. Let's go with Baltimore and Tampa Bay. I just don't like their power. Or lack thereof. What happened to Tampa? Oh, Tampa's already way up there. All right.
Oh, so God, that was you saying that right before the slate starts is just music to my ears for them to hit 7 home runs tonight.
When am I?
It'll all be from guys that I don't have in my lineup.
Yes.
Still, they'll hit 7 home runs.
You'll get one of them. 6 will be multi-run home runs, and you'll get your Jordan Walker 1 run.
Yay.
All right, let me get that. And I'll see what questions we have. uploading. Oh, why are my lineups failing? That is bad news. All right, I got to figure that little shitstorm out. Give us a few other thoughts on this slate, because now I'm in panic mode because I'm not going to get my lineups in.
Yeah, well, you got a few minutes. I mean, as far as other thoughts on this slate goes, like, I mean,
Vamp for me.
Yeah, no, I got you. I think that everything other than the Twins is going to be, much lower owned than it normally would be. So the Cubs, we didn't talk a ton about. I've stacked against Bayo a couple times now, and it hasn't really worked out. I don't think he's that good, but he's a good ground ball pitcher. So I like the Cubs here, but at their ownership, I think I like the Yankees slightly more. Talked about Texas and the Tigers. I think those two teams are underprojected for this pitching matchup after a 2-0 game last night. I think both offenses have upside here. So I'm in on some Detroit. I'm in on some Texas. I'm in on some St. Louis. And then I like Minnesota. So, yeah, keeping it chalky with the Twins and then getting off the board with my secondary stacks for the most part. So I think there's, as always, on a slate this size, because it is, it's not massive, but it's big enough. There's good plays all over. I don't think you have to get too weird. Anything other than the Twins is going to be, different enough, especially if you're playing smaller field stuff. But that said, I like the Twins a lot here. It's hard not to like them. I said it earlier. The only reason not to like them is ownership, which is totally valid, but that is legit the only reason.
Shit. Well, guess I don't have my lineups.
Just put one dummy in for all of them.
I don't want to do that. How many games start at 7?
At 7:05. I think a bunch of them start at 7:15. Only 2 at 7:05, 1 at 7:10, and then 3 at 7:15.
All right. I don't know what else to do. So we're ending the show right now so I can figure this out. So sorry about that, chat. Sorry about that, Tom. With that, you guys can follow us at Stokastic_COM at Twitter. You can find me at EMACDFS. And, of course, you can get Matt over at Fantasy Tips. Matt, enjoy. See you guys tomorrow at 12:30.